They say they can't stop me, they can't stop me. I'ma go hard, they can't stop me. Must I remind y'all, instead of haters trying to bring me down, I love it when you turn my frown upside down. They can't stop me. I'ma go hard, they can't stop me. Must I remind y'all, I'm going to.
Welcome y'all to Peep Game TV and Keeping It Real team collaboration. I'm your man Shadi Ali, aka SRD. My man Jay Sean is a bit late. However, I'm going to get it started on time with you guys. So here we are. Now, I was just watching the news, right? And I saw something that Trump signed. Um, he signed, changed the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Now, what do you guys think about that? You know, defense is one thing, but Department of War, basically, it's like, he's trying to intimidate people. He's trying to be a bully. And you see what I have across my hat, right? It's called moral coppolace. It's basically something that we as a people need to do. And let me tell you why. Trump is one of the reasons why. But beyond that, this thing is something that, as a people, and it's not about being prejudiced, it's about human rights. As human beings, why do we, as a people, have to continue to be the minority when we have an opportunity now to be the majority? We have an opportunity where we can actually create our own government, which is starting with each of the 50 states and putting together a constitution, creating a flag, uh, getting the three branches of government, you know, and governing ourselves and being able to do something that we haven't been able to do in basically, 249 years since 1776, when America declared its independence from Great Britain. So, why shouldn't we declare our independence from America when we already know America hasn't been treating us right? So, we have a right as human beings to declare our independence from America. And by doing so, we put ourselves in a position where we're able to negotiate on a level where we haven't been able to negotiate before. It's always been, whenever we negotiate, we have been the inferior ones, hence the minorities. If you're the minority, then of course you're less, or you're the youngster, basically. So at the end of the day, why continue being the youngster when we can be the parent? The parent. We can have our own government, govern ourselves. And it makes sense, people. It makes sense to do it. Like at the end of the day, we, everybody in this country, came from somewhere else other than us. We've been lied to and said that, many of us were brought here on the ships, and some of us may have been. However, but what about those of us, our ancestors who were here? Don't we owe it to them to be what they were prior to what slavery did prior to slavery? Don't we owe it to them? Don't just like we had voted, we said we vote because our ancestors died to vote. So why not reestablish our government because our ancestors had a government prior to America being America? That's the part we keep, overlooking, you know? So it's just something to think about, something to think about as a people, just something to think about that we, it can't hurt. It can't hurt. Look, we didn't try it, voted, and look who's in office. Some people may be happy, some people may not be. We've tried praying, we've tried boycotting, we've tried a number of different things. And at the end of the day, how well is it working for us? So, my man here now, Jay Sean, like I say, I'm Shadi Ali, aka SRD. My man Jay Sean, aka Mr. F Love.
What's good?
What's good? We're here with you on this Friday night, the 5th of September.
Yeah.
And we thank you all for taking the time out of your busy day to spend it with us. We know you could have been anywhere in the world doing anything you wanted to do, but yet you chose to spend some time with us. And for that, we are grateful. Go ahead, brother. What's up? I
Look,
was saying to the people that Donald Trump signed, I guess, an executive order changing the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War.
the Department of War.
Absolutely. The Department of War. So, what is your thoughts about that? I asked the people, what's their thoughts about, him doing it? But what is your thoughts about changing it from the Department of Defense to the Department of War?
Uh, it seemed like he going on the offense about something, because if you think about it, like from the Department of Defense, that's like protecting. I'm protecting what's mine. Defense. The defense is the defense.
Right, you're defending
You
what's
defend
yours.
it.
So
But
now, Department of War, I mean,
and
and basically, yeah, and basically, what he's subliminally saying is, you see this across my chest. It's called moral competence. It's the new name for North Carolina.
okay.
Okay, so we getting a chance to claim a land for ourselves and name it what we want to name it, and have the land recognize us as Moors, Moroccan Moors.
Right.
So as humans, we have a right to claim our own identity. We don't. No one don't have to tell us who we are. We get to say who we are. So
Right.
that's what we're doing. We're declaring our independence as America did in 1776 when they declared their independence from Great Britain.
Okay.
See, we often forget about that. That how America became America. America wasn't always America. You know what I mean? They came here from England. They was subjects of the king and queen of England. And they decided, nah, we don't want nobody to govern us. We want to govern ourselves because we want to control the resources of the land. The ones who govern the land control the resources.
Right.
That's what, you know what I mean? So we feel like we deserve the right to do that as well.
Well, that's like he making a statement if he changing it to from the Department of Defense to the Department of War.
Right.
That's like you looking for something.
Yeah, he ready to try to do something to somebody. You know what I mean? Somebody said they love Trump, and that's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you love Trump, that's cool.
He
I
said
mean,
that
I don't have a problem with him per se. I don't have a problem with him. I,
somebody said this the dumbest shit they ever seen, and homie smoking a black and mild listening like this shit making sense. I don't respond to people who don't got a picture with a profile at. So whatever your name is, SY. I don't respond to people who don't got if you don't got a picture by your profile, I don't respond to it because that right there it shows a coward because you want to make comments, you want to smack the camera. But if you a man, just show your face and we'll debate something like like intelligent people. But don't make comments and then don't throw rocks and hide your hand.
So what he saying that don't make sense? What he saying?
I get he's saying what we talking about don't make sense. He probably a Trump lover.
I mean, if he, like I said, if he loves Trump, it's cool. You know what I mean? But
That's somebody else that said that.
as a people, when we call ourselves Black, African American, we call ourselves African first. We don't
Right.
call ourselves American first. So something wrong with that to me. This is my opinion. I got the right to my opinion just as they got the right to their opinion. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And it's
And,
funny how people they know stuff, but if of course he's from another culture, but
he,
but
he said he black.
how he know this, huh?
He said he was black.
Nah, I doubt that. how he know how he know what a black and mile is? You know what I mean? Like they always know every our culture. You know what I mean, and everything about us. He didn't say that to Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Jerry Lewis. You know what I mean? Sammy Davis, Dave Chappelle. They chain smokers and millionaires.
Yeah, I mean, you got the right to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? I mean, my thing is, we got, like I like to say, we got our human mentality and we got our supreme mentality. I
Right,
like to operate off of my supreme mentality. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So I don't like to get in squabbles with people. I don't mind having a discussion to see different views. However, but I'm not trying to get in no squabble with you. You know, we can debate some things too, as long as we can do it in a healthy way and a productive way. So I'm for that.
That's true.
You know, a person don't have to agree with me, just like I don't have to agree with them. You know, I think we deserve to have our own government. That's my opinion. You know what I mean? And I'm working towards making it happen. I'm not just talking about it. You know, so
Yeah,
all right, let's get to it, brother. We
I gotta
go ahead.
I gotta try to get to your questions. They I because I got here late. They
Okay, well, go ahead, do what you got to do, man. You know, and you know we can see what some people said. You know what I mean? Because we here for y'all. Y'all here for us. You know what I'm saying? We in this thing together. I mean, and that's your opinion. You know what I'm saying? I choose to wear sunglasses. You know, because my eyes wander when I'm talking on a different camera. So I don't want my eyes to be looking funny. So I choose to wear the sunglasses. So I'm giving you my reason for wearing it. I'm not trying to hide who I am. I'm not ashamed of who I am. So I'm not doing it for that, you know? And, you know, they say you can't trust a person who don't wear a watch. I don't have my watch on today, but other days I do. You know, sometimes I have jewelry on. You know, it's my right. I choose today. I don't want to wear no jewelry. I don't want to wear no watch. You know, that's all.
you
Yeah,
can't.
we all have a choice. You know, I'm pretty sure there's something that you do that people may have a different opinion of. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool. That's your opinion. You know, like a person just sitting up in the house, you know what I mean, with sunglasses on, okay, you know. But we're doing a podcast, we're doing a program. We got lights in our face. You know what I'm saying? So we choose to do that.
Now
You know what I'm saying? And you
I'm
can see
wearing
my eyes. There go my eyes. You know what I'm saying? You can see my eyes.
I just wear
Ain't hiding nothing.
I just wear mine because that's my trademark. That's what I want to do. So that's why I wear it. But like I said, I ain't debating with nobody who don't got a profile picture. I'm trying to get to your questions. Hold
Yeah. Okay. So
on.
how was your week, brother?
My it was good. It was real good, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, mine was pretty good as well. Getting close to, also getting close to actually. You froze up on me. Also getting close to completing the book. The From Hustler to Businessman. That's the book. You know what I mean? Started off in one type of lifestyle and switched over to a legit, upstanding lifestyle. So from hustler to businessman, when it's when it's available, definitely will promote it. Definitely will let everybody know where they can get their version. You know, their ebook or audio audio book or the booklet yourself, whichever one you prefer. You froze up on me.
How about now? I'm good.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I was saying, I was getting close to completing the book, getting ready, start get it out.
How far have you went on it?
I mean, the writing is pretty much complete.
Oh,
So it's just now based on, getting setting everything up as far as, distribution, things of that nature.
okay.
Getting the hard copies, getting the ebook, getting the audio book, just, that type of stuff,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah, I got the questions. I pulled them up.
Okay. All right. So,
I think I mean my turn to ask you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
last week I started off. Choosing to remove this government children isn't enough. Oh, that's a hard one. Well, I'm just gonna shoot into the question. Um,
Go ahead.
do you think some parents are choosing to remove discipline because they think loving their children is not enough or is enough?
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is, do I think people are, you know, removing or slacking on disciplining their children because they feel like just loving them is enough?
Right, right.
Okay. I wanted, you know, so, love and discipline are basically kind of they hand in hand to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when you love somebody, you're actually giving them affection. You letting them know, uplifting them, making sure they have what they need. And on the other hand, with the discipline, you're setting standards, boundaries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Value. So if you're,
Damn, I lost weight.
for example, a lot of times we've heard, I don't know if you heard, but I've heard on a number of occasions that women women love their sons and they raise their daughters. That's a saying that I've heard.
Yeah, I
So
heard that.
so it's basically like saying, okay, they equip their daughters with what they need to, survive to do what they have to do. Whereas their sons, they handicap them because they're not allowing them to do certain things that will make them productive men. You know
Mm,
what I mean?
yeah.
So I say that to say that I believe. Love is necessary, but I do believe that you need to keep that discipline in there. You need to have the discipline because without the discipline, they're missing something. You know what I
Right.
mean? To me, it's like having water with like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich instead of like milk or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Milk and cookies instead of water and cookies. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Milk and cookies and water and cookies. I prefer to have the milk and cookies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or French fries without ketchup. But it depends on the individual. I like a little ketchup on mine. So,
Right.
you know, or food without seasoning. You know, you have food with no seasoning. So I think it's necessary to basically do both, give them both. And I do think that parents, some parents, are uh, leaving the discipline out. You know what I mean? They're leaving the discipline out because yeah, they want to. They don't feel it's necessary, or they don't really know how to implement it. Could be that too.
Mm.
So, what's your thoughts?
I don't really know if they removing discipline. I just think that the discipline is different than it was uh for say when we was growing up or when our parents was growing up. Um, it's discipline is almost extinct now. Like there is really no discipline because now you can get in trouble if you really try to discipline your children. I don't really understand that at all. How you can if you discipline your child, how they could call the cops on you and you can go to jail. Um, I don't really understand that, and you can't just say it's in one region of the world because that's everywhere. That's the law now. So I would like to know how did they come about making that law that if you discipline your child that you can be arrested. I just don't know. Maybe it came from too much abuse, but I don't got the statistics for that, so I really don't know. But I just think if I was just really put my finger on, I would just say discipline has fallen off. Discipline has fallen off nowadays. Because it's only but so much you could. It's only but so much you could discipline them. I don't really know if they switching it for love. I don't. I don't know if they switching it for love. I just I think it's just too lenient nowadays. You know.
Yeah, and you made a good point. You made a good point when you said it's different from when we were growing up.
Yeah.
You know, as you know, and I agree with that. It is different. The other part you said, other thing you said is basically you wonder why they put a law where they limit you to disciplining your children.
Yeah. I would like to know. Where they can, where they, how they came up with that.
My question, well, my thing is, why did they come up with it? And for me, the answer is so that they can fill the jail cells. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even though it's a law, the police can beat you down.
Yeah.
So if they decide that you're not adhering to their rules, they can jump on you.
Yep.
So Is it really a law, or is it just for some people? If if
That's
if if it's a law, the ones who's supposed to be enforcing the law, wouldn't you think they would abide by it too?
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's I
So,
can't
right.
I can't.
So my thoughts and my belief is, yeah, they say, look, don't whoop your children. Let us beat them down and put them in jail. You know, that's it. That's what they decided to do. Okay, we'll take care of it. You don't have to do it.
We'll take care of it, right?
Right, right. And at the same time, we're gonna make money off of it, and we're gonna separate families. So that's my take on it.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Now we all know you, Mr. F. Love. You know what I mean? And you got reasons based on people you've dealt with, people you've been around, people you know personally, and things of that nature. So my question is, when was the last time you told someone you love them and meant it? Now you can't use your children or other children or family members. You know what I mean?
And you know what? Somebody I heard that somewhere, and then I was thinking about it, and I was wondering if it's been as long for me. Have it been that long for other people? Because just imagine if it's been years since you told somebody I love you. If it's been years, or even said it in minute, you know what I mean? Because you can
Right.
say it and not mean it too. But
Absolutely.
and when I was listening to it, that it made me think of, like, I was thinking about that. I was like, man, I can't even remember when the last time I told somebody that. I can't even remember. So I was I was thinking to myself, um, does that mean that your life is, well, my life, do that mean that your life is empty? Do that mean that my your life is incomplete, not whole? Or what do that really mean? Or or is it or is it just something against you? Me personally, because I remember somebody told me a long time ago, this guy, a friend of mine, he was like, Jay, you really don't trust nobody? And I was like, nah, I don't trust nobody. And he was like, you're gonna have a miserable life. And that always stuck in my brain. So if it's other people out there like me that haven't really told somebody that, or can't remember when you have told somebody that other than your kids or your mother, if it is other people like that other than me, and I'm sure it is, then we need to correct that, because that might be the first step to making the world better, or making relationships better, friendships better, um, opportunities and stuff like that. So I can't remember the last time I did it, but I know it's been a long time ago. So that was like a check for myself. Like, that's something I need to look into, because you got to check yourself sometime.
Absolutely.
Yamin told me one time. That's a friend of ours. Yamin. He, after I told him about a relationship I had that was over, my last one, and Yamin said, "Yo, Jay, my sister told me that after, I guess, he broke up with his last wife or girlfriend or whatever, and like his sister told him, yeah, I mean, you got to look in the mirror, because sometimes when stuff keep happening, yeah, you looking at the reason why it's happening when you looking at yourself. You know what I mean? So that's a check for myself. But what you what you think about that same question?
Um, Now, when it comes, I think, well, I often say, for me, I had this thing and I kind of, still kind of feel that way that I'd rather someone show me they love me. You know what I mean?
Right,
If you show me you love me, then you don't have to tell me that often. You
right,
know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to see it and I'm going to feel it,
right.
you know? Now, if you telling me all the time, I start to wonder who you trying to convince, me or yourself. you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it for me, I see it a little differently, because to me, love is it. Yeah, it is an emotion, but it's also based on actions
Right.
that ignite emotions. You know what I'm saying? The actions ignite those emotions. So if a person don't really show you that they love you, are you still going to really be feeling that same type of love that you felt when they were?
Mm.
So
Good
that's
point.
just my take on it. You know what
Good
I mean?
point. Good point. Good point. Moving right along. Moving right along. Um, this is a serious question right here because so many times I was thinking about this. I do a lot of reading and listening to social media, and I had ran across something like this when somebody was talking about who suffers more from racism, black person or a white person. Um, and they gave narratives why black people do, and they gave narratives why white people do. But with that being said, do you think blacks and white do you think black and white people are do you think black and white people are enemies, or has the United States government and the rich elite created that narrative?
I I often see like people get funny or on when they hear black and white. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because it's we don't have the conversations openly enough with each other, I believe. You know what I mean? Because
That's true.
we as so-called black people have an idea about so-called white people.
Right.
And so-called white people have an idea about us. But
Facts.
very rarely do we communicate with each other about how we see each other.
Right.
So of course we know the history of this country has put a division between black and white people, between the two people.
Right.
Why? Because they have given one people more privileges, and then on top of it, those same people have power and have control of a lot of things that goes on here in America.
Right.
You know, so I don't think we as a people hate white people. Why? Because everything that we've seen, been taught, or interact with has they have been a part of. You know what I mean? From the religion to teaching to health to you. your first teacher more than likely was a white teacher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Other than your parents.
Right.
If you get in trouble, 8 out of 10 times it's a white person that arrests you, and most times it's the same white person that judge you. You know.
True. True.
Now the other part of it is when you go to the doctor. Up until recently, where there were Indians, there were white doctors.
Yeah.
So, and the books that you read about history, the majority of the people in there, who were they about? The movies, the TV shows. So, for us as a people, you know, when we say we want equality or we want something other than that, it appears sometimes to me that sometimes white people feel like, hey, why do you want that? You should be okay with the way things are, and I just think that as humans, we all have the right to, you know, be comfortable. The human rights to, why can't there be, you know, more judges that are black, more doctors that are black, more teachers, or mixture, or we try to even it out. We've been fed the line that we're the minority.
Right.
So if you've been fed that you're the minority, you just accept that, okay, because there's less of us here, then it's going to be less of us in things that are productive. Okay, it's less of us here, but it's more black people dying of cancer, more black people in prison. You know what I'm saying? More black women, babies are dying at birth. So for me, how come when it's something kind of negative, we at the top of the list, but
Right.
when it's something productive, we at the bottom of the list? So I don't think it's about hate as it is about inequality. You know what I mean? I think that's the bigger. That's what creates the friction, the inequality, and the inequality is perpetuated by the rich elite because the rich elite don't want both black and white people to be on the same page, because if both black and white people be on the same page, they have to do what they're hired for, and that's to, you know take care of the people in the country, its citizens.
Right.
As long as they got that divide, they can throw one people a little something extra, and then they gonna be quiet because they gonna say, "Look, we good," and then throw the other people a little bone every now and then.
That's true.
So that's my thought about that question. What do you think?
I don't really think black and white people are enemies.
Right.
If you put um two 4-year-old a white 4-year-old baby and a black 4-year-old baby in a dirt daycare or in a nursery settings in a park, a swimming pool, somewhere, they don't even know. They don't even know they don't even know about racism. You know what I mean? They just playing. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that I think about. And the other thing that I think about, now that I get older, I don't really think is so much of the white man wanting to keep the black man down. I just think the white man want to win. And if he winning, long as he winning and you losing, he's all right with that. As long as he's winning, as long as he's able to make money and live lavishing and then and build a future for his kids, they happy. Um, think about it. Think about Patterson in the white when we was young. The white areas like up by the park, how nice it was. The white areas, how nice they was, and then look at Patterson or Newark. Um, think about Chinatown, nice. The Jewish area, nice. The Italian areas, nice. Every community, you know what I mean, is nice, except when you come to our communities, it's not nice. You know what I mean? So at my age now, I don't think it's as much as they just want to keep you down. I think they just want to win, you know, and they want to make sure that you don't pass them while they winning. So if that means keeping you down, then that's gonna keep you down. As long as you don't climb up and be neck and neck with them or almost about to pass them, they all right with that. You know, they happy long as they could see you and and they could drive through Patterson or drive through the Chicago old block and all that in Chicago and Newark and all that. Long as that's there, they okay.
Mm.
Long as they winning, that's all that matter to them. They long as they winning, that's it. So
So
that's how I think about it now. Long as they winning, they all right.
so basically, you see us as opponents or opposition.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And one opponent is willing to do whatever it takes to win. When the other while the other opponent uh, is okay with losing at times.
like two boxers. They don't all the time. Boxers don't really hate each other. You know what I mean? They hug after the fight, but one just want to win, and one just want the other one to lose. You know what I mean? And long as you keep losing, it's okay with the one that's winning. So
Yeah.
we got to start winning.
Well, and I that's what I agree with. You know what I mean? I agree that okay, if we look at it as such, as we look at it as two different teams,
Right,
we we playing the game of life,
right,
and the game of life mean sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
right.
So be okay with losing when you lose. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Because a good sport can lose, like you said, like you use after a game, after a football game. You when you was younger, you went down the line, even if you lost and you shook the winner's hand.
Right.
So I think that's something that would be ideal to implement in the game of life. Like when so, and that goes back to us having our own government. You know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah.
let us win. We got our own government. We got our team. You got your team. You know,
That's exactly it. What you saying?
yeah, yeah. So okay, sometimes we can mix the team up, but for the most part, we gonna play on our team. We gonna wear our jerseys, and
like
we
you,
gonna do what we have to do to make sure our team win. And it's nothing bad against you.
and that's what I'm saying. How that's how I'm older. How I think now that it ain't so much that every white person hate every black person, but long as you keep losing, it's okay with them. You know what I mean? Because if you start winning, Then you look at Puffy, 50 Cent, and all the people with money. They rub elbows with them.
Right, but look
They
at it. Yeah, but look what they did to Puffy now.
oh well, that's the you know what that is. He was winning. He was winning too much.
He started talking about a black political party and funding it. So
Got to be careful.
and that's the part that I'm saying. If they had a right to do that with their team, why shouldn't you have the right to do that? Take care of your team. That's that's the part that I find discouraging. And it's not and
That's
it's
the
not
part that
all
is.
and it's
That's the
not
part that is
it's
discouraging.
right and it's not regular white people because regular white people are dealing with what we deal with every day and police and all of that. You know what I mean? So we need for them to get to a point where they realize, like, look, we not here to do no harm to you. We here to get ours like you here to get yours.
Yep.
Our opposition is the United States government. That's our opposition.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's the one that puts us in the cross. And he blame it on you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because whatever laws the police have to do or the judge have to do is coming down. It's getting passed down to them that they, by the people we vote for.
Yep.
So so for me, I'm tired of voting for those people. I'd rather vote for people that got my best interests at heart on my own team.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was a good question.
Yeah. All right, let's move right along. Now, if you see now, being that we was just talking about black and white, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That was just a discussion. So now, if you see a black man or a woman in a relationship with a white person, what is the first thought that comes to your mind? Do you think they're tired of dealing with their own, or do you think they just being weak, or do you think it's true love?
That's another debate, the discussion or debate I heard this week while I was doing, because I study a lot during the week. I put a lot of time into listening to different things, and I heard some people talking about that, and I'm like, that's a good question because if you see a black woman with a white man, what's the first
Kamala
thing?
Harris.
Yeah, what's the first thing you think? Like, do you think she tired of black men abusing her? Do you think she weak minded? Do you think she's a gold digger, or do you think she really looking for love? I I think for somebody to go after another race, me personally, I think that they tired. I think that something happened along the line that made them tired of dealing with people of their own race. It don't have to be. I don't. It don't have to be past relationships that made them tired. Maybe they could just be tired of just being not being able to make it over the hump with somebody of their own race. Maybe it's they tired of struggling with uh the people of their own race. Not, and I'm not just talking about women. I could be talking about men, and maybe they just want to try something else. So um I don't really think it's more like a negative thought, and I also don't think it's just pure love. I think it's something that happens somewhere along the line in their adult life that made them say, I want to try something different because I can put myself in those shoes. You know what I mean? And I have messed with people from different races, so I think more than likely, if I see a black woman with a white man, I think, well, she tired of black men. Some something that happened to her somewhere along the line that made her tired of black men. So she want to try something different. What you think?
Um, normally when I see that, especially like
What's the first thing that come to your mind?
Camilla Harris, I you know I think they feel you know like for her, and what's the other young lady
It's a
that's a
it's a bunch of
Republican,
it's a
the
bunch of them.
Republican. Yeah, even for example, even what's her name, the rapper,
Oh,
uh,
Eve,
Eve. Yeah, you know what I mean. I just
Serena Williams, Eve, a bunch of
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. I think some of them, you know, do it because they feel like it's a step up.
Right, that too.
You know what I mean? It's a step up. They actually stepping up, and they're putting themselves in a status that maybe that they believe the average black man wouldn't be able to get to, and also a protective status. Whereas they get pulled over by the cops and the white man driving, they could be safe. You know what I'm saying?
That could be true.
They get pulled over by the cops and the black man driving. Now they may see the black man get humiliated. You know what I mean?
Right.
And don't be able to do nothing about it. So and then in other cases, it could be environment. It could be they've been in an environment where that's what they were surrounded by. You know, you go to one of those Ivy League schools, then the majority of the people may be of a different nationality. So you start interacting with them, and then you happen to start loving them, and you know, there you go. Now you're married and having children, and
So
so
you think it's because they want to get to another level that they couldn't get to with somebody of their own race.
I mean, multiple. That's one aspect of it because you got multiple people doing it. I wouldn't say everybody do it for the same reason. You know what I mean? I think some people probably did it for that. I mean, the one woman says in account about she connected with him intellectually, and it made me I can't Candace Owens.
Oh yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
said that she connected with him intellectually, so it made me feel like okay, you no black man was intelligent enough for you to connect with intellectually,
Yep.
and now on the other hand, there's a lot of us as the brothers that we too busy trying to get in the panties to get into the head anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
Yo,
we getting in the bed instead of getting into the head. So I could see on the other hand, a woman could take it there. You know what
yo,
I mean?
that's that's something. That's what I'm gonna talk about on my next show. But I'll save that for later. But what you just said, that's something I want to talk about. I want to attack something different. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
Too
yeah,
much
but
to hit
that's
it on the
that's pretty
nose.
much it. That's pretty much it with that.
Oh, okay. Let me see. It's my turn to ask you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me see what the last question I got for you. Um, Do oh, okay. This is something that well, you just said it. It's something like what you just said. As far as what the world, and I think we touched on this last week when I asked about where do we go from here with social internet and the way the women are acting up there. Um and twerking and all that. Where do it go from here? But this is similar to that. Do you think do you think some people are choosing a mate based on the appearance rather than their capabilities?
Mm. Uh, Let me see, man. Well, let's let's talk about mainstream. Let's go to mainstream. Let's go with the people who influence the younger generation, the rappers, the lady rappers. You know what I mean? They're influencing the younger women now. Okay, and what are they talking about? They're talking about, you know, eight, six figures, you know, and jokers, sex and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So they're talking about, basically they're not talking about whether the person is compatible with them. They're talking about things, or personal body parts or whatever that they're looking for. Some of them, I want them with 6 feet, and this type of stuff. So I say, yeah, that there are women who are, and men. We can't leave the men out too, because men do the same thing. Because a lot of women getting their bodies done because they felt like they weren't getting enough attention.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So now they get their bodies done, and now they're getting massive attention.
right.
So yeah, I think we are, as a society, we are pursuing appearance more so than compatibility.
Hmm.
We're not seeing what a person and you have in common. How could you and this person bring your different ideologies, your different upbringings together and make it work for the both of you? And as a result, create a family that you both can take care of and have that family be productive. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think that's something that we need to work on as a society. Now, everybody wants somebody that they're attracted to. Most people, in
Right,
some case. So we I'm not being unrealistic and ruling out somebody being attractive, but there's more to it if you want to build a strong foundation of a relationship that's going to be long lasting and meaningful. That's my thoughts,
that's what's up.
and that's about our time, brother.
Yeah, yeah. I apologize. I was like about 10 minutes late, but
Let
real
the
quick.
people know. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, I was about 10 minutes late. No, but real quick, I wanted to respond to that
Oh, go
question
ahead.
you
Yeah,
asked.
yeah, go ahead.
Um, the world we live in now is so much visual. Everything, everybody worrying about what's the outside. The way the face looks, and the way the booty looks, and the way the breast looks, and what this person got, and stuff is we um lost looking for like integrity in people, refinement, um um, just honesty, and we lost that, and that's what's inside people. You know what I mean? That's what's inside. We so busy, the whole, and like you said, the rappers, but I'm talking like the female rappers and the social media. They have put so much out in the front where, you know if somebody got a big butt, then that's all you need. That's all you need her to have. She ain't gotta have no money. She don't gotta have no goals. She don't gotta have
Scruples,
no
morals.
scruples, moral. So long as she got that big butt and a smile, that's you gonna ride off into the sunset. And that's why the divorce rate is so high, and that's why relationships is so messed up, and that's why so many people cheating, because it's always butts is like infinity, like numbers. You might be over here one day and see a nice booty on a woman. 20 minutes later, or an hour, or tomorrow, or the next day, you're gonna see another one over there. You know what I mean? And another one's like, it's not gonna stop. You know what I mean? We gotta get, and that's everybody. If you ain't in relationships, and if you is in relationships, and if you are in one, and it's not right, and you having problems and stuff like that, maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to look inside the person that you would, and maybe you need to see what's inside their heart, and what really makes them tick, and what they really need from you, and what you really need from them, and stop worrying about all the other stuff, the shenanigans and stuff like
Yeah.
that go along. So, that go a long way.
Yeah, the superficial stuff. Yeah, start dealing with some inside. What people bring from the inner person instead of the outer person.
Right.
Absolutely,
Right.
I definitely agree with you. You know,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah. So I enjoyed the show as usual,
Yeah.
brother.
It's we come up here and we talk current events, politics, what's going on in the world, but most importantly, we talk reality. We talk knowledge, and reality, and to the best of our ability. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And every now and then, it's good to have characters come on here like that guy that came on here. That's good.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
Cause
want to get it to where we can start having
yeah,
some people,
all all
like how you had your
all,
second show.
all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, yeah. Want to have more interaction. So
Yeah,
still working on that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So we can have people, so we can bounce
Until
things off of other people.
I wish we can get 20 people like that to come up here.
Hey, might do.
Yeah, we
You
need that.
know,
We need that.
once
Tell a
yeah,
friend.
once
Tell
we
a friend.
once we get it, get it more situated. So
Tell him to bring back his whole family. Tell a
yeah,
friend.
yeah.
Tell a friend.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy day. You knew you
Yes,
could have been anywhere. We're thankful that you spent some time with us, and we're grateful for that. And hope to see you next week and hope your weekend be productive
yes, indeed.
and everything you want it to be. Stay safe, be wise,
Yep.
and until next week, but let the people know where they can see you.
Oh, I'm getting at a 9:30. I'm getting ready to be on my Facebook live. Randy J. Sean Jack J. Sean. I think it's J. Sean Randy Jackson. Randy J. Sean Jackson on my Facebook live, and on my TikTok at J. Sean 763. Starting about 9:30 and 9:35, and I got a lot of stuff to talk about on my show too today. So I don't want nobody coming over this sensitive, because I'm gonna drop some bombs today.
Okay. Till next week, leave you all. Peace.
Peace.